where we bring you the people that influence our community, our city, and our state. Today we're honored to have Jaime Cruz, Executive Director of Workforce Connections. Jaime, how are you?
Good, Peter. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for being here. Where would you rather be right now?
Nowhere else.
Really?
I am where I want to be.
That's beautiful. So tell us about yourself and how you made it to Nevada.
So I was born in Lima, Peru, and I was a merchant marine for many years. But once I got tired of traveling, seeing the world as a young man, I decided to join my mom and my brother, who had made it here to Las Vegas, Nevada, from Peru.
Wow. So from Peru to Nevada?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. It's a great journey.
From the ocean to the desert.
Wow. So who's had the greatest influence both in your life and maybe in your career?
So I think it goes back to that, to my mom. My mom raised my brother and I as a single mom, and I saw every day with her actions the value of perseverance and hard work. I think that's what's helped me in my career from an early time. And now professionally, I think I've had mentors as well. But if I was to weigh that, probably nothing as influential as what I saw early from my mom.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's a common story, you know, with us Latinos and Hispanic influences. It's a beautiful thing. Tell us what you love about Las Vegas.
Oh man, I love so many things about this city. Its vibe, its energy. Most of all, I think how it keeps reinventing itself. We probably took the toughest punch a city could take during the recession, and look at us now. We're back, and we're back in a big way. I mean, we have the Raiders, we have the Golden Knights, we have the Aces, we have the Lights. So, love Vegas, baby. Yeah,
no, Vegas is booming right now. And you recently became executive director, correct?
Yes, I did.
How long has that been now?
I'm going on my 4th month.
And did you get voted in? That's a voting?
I did. I serve at the pleasure of 8 local elected officials from, it's called the Southern Nevada Local Elected Officials Consortium. And they of course, interviewed, and then I feel humbled that they appointed me as the Executive Director of Workforce Connections.
That's fantastic. We're going to be back in a moment with Jaime Cruz from Workforce Connections. Welcome back to Influencers. Here again with Jaime Cruz from Workforce Connections. You know, Jaime, I'm interested in the early years in Nevada and how that led to Workforce Connections.
Sure. When I got here in 1987, this was a different town, but I was fortunate because when I came here, the Mirage was going up. It was the biggest, newest, and most recent development in 30 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so I was fortunate to enter the MGM Corporation at that time. It was called Mirage Resorts, and through a series of evolutions became what today is MGM Resorts. And so I spent 20 years there until the City Center project. In 2009 is when I transitioned from MGM to Workforce Connections.
Wow. And I know that you guys do a lot over there. What's your budget, if you can share that, and what's your responsibilities?
So Workforce Connections is one of about 600 local boards across the nation that receive federal funds from the United States Department of Labor. Our budget, and it's always according to your size of population and levels of unemployment, our budget is about 20 to 25 million annually. And of course, those funds are meant to provide employment and training services here for Southern Nevadans.
So that's a lot of responsibility, 25 million, and making sure people are getting trained to work. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point, that the training has to be effective. It has to be lined up with what the demand here in Nevada. If we are going to have a new economy that's not only based on the traditional hospitality and mining, but instead healthcare and advanced manufacturing and high tech, then we're supposed to be producing those kinds of workers.
And One Stop, tell us a little bit about One Stop.
Sure. The One Stop system is how all of this materializes, because the money comes in, strategic plannings are written, but at the end of the day, the One Stop delivery system are the buildings, if you will, where people can go in and access these services, these resources.
That's excellent, excellent. We'll be back in a moment with Jaime from Workforce Connections. Welcome back to Influencers. Today with Workforce Connections Executive Director Jaime Cruz. Jaime, how do you feel about your relationship with the community?
I sometimes catch myself feeling like a Las Vegas-born, resident, but I'm not. I'm an immigrant. I came here 30 years ago, again from Lima, Peru. But I think those years, the fact that my kids were born here, I really feel like I'm a Las Vegan, and I feel deeply connected to the community through my 20 years in the private sector and now 10 years in the public sector. I have a lot of passion and commitment to this community.
And obviously, we're here at the LCC CenturyLink Studios inside the Latin Chamber of Commerce. So, what about the Hispanic community? What's the connection there? How do you feel? Is there room to grow?
Well, yes, I think, first of all, as a Peruvian, I guess I have to give a shout out to the Peruvian community, because otherwise next time we go to have Peru chicken, we won't hear the end of it. So shout out, arriba Peru. And I think it was actually thanks to the Latin Chamber when I was in MGM, my early years as an executive, it was through membership in the Latin Chamber that I really got to connect in a more meaningful way to the many cultures and nationalities that make up this diverse Hispanic community that contributes so much to Las Vegas and Southern Nevada.
And what do you think as a community at large, what should the community be doing to know more about Workforce Connections? And how can Workforce Connections do a better job in the community if there's room to do that?
So I think there's always room to improve how Workforce Connections is impacting the community at large, and in this case, as you said, specifically the Hispanic community. I think we have an opportunity now, at least, to help businesses in the Latin community address an issue that we've heard about a lot, and it has to do with businesses spend unnecessary money recruiting and hiring people too many times. In other words, can't find the right employee the first time. And so we've started through our ecosystem, an initiative called Nevada Work Ready Communities. And so what we hope to bring is resources to the businesses here, small businesses, medium, large businesses, the resources needed to hire the right employee the first time and save those unnecessary dollars that they spend when that doesn't happen. And
that, my friend, is a game changer as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, I think we are excited about it, and of course we couldn't have done it without the help of our initial partners. Of course, the Latin Chamber played a role initially in bringing in partners like Nevada State High School and the other chambers of commerce as well.
Absolutely. So we'll be back with our last segment with Jaime Cruz and Workforce Connections. Welcome back to Influencers. Workforce Connections is here with us today. Jaime Cruz is the Executive Director. Jaime, let me ask you something. With the Hispanic population growing so fast here, how does that go into your budget and planning, strategic meetings, things of that nature?
That's a great question. As you mentioned, this community has evolved, and the demographics are evolving as well. And with this fast expanding Hispanic population, it is part of our strategic planning to go ahead and, first of all, establish the partnerships in the community that we need to be able to reach that community and to be able to, again, effectively engage them in employment and training services, because again, they're going to be a large component of this new workforce that we're going to be needed here in this new decade of growth.
And there's a lot of growth coming. Jaime, tell us a little bit about what you like to do in your personal time.
Oh man, well, Peru chicken is one. Love my chicken. Mm-hmm. But one of the most, I love spending time with my kids. And the most recent thing that I think I'm very excited about is I'm going to be going to Russia to the World Cup in 2018 to watch Peru play. So,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You got that all dialed in already?
All dialed in. I had to enter a lottery for the tickets, and I got fortunate to get the tickets first, and then went and booked the flights, the trains, all those other things.
That's amazing. It's really amazing. Let me ask you something. What's in the future for Jaime Cruz?
Wow. I think my mission in life has been for a while, and again, I think, like you said, we learned this in Hispanic families and Latino families early on, is I want to be the best father I can be. And so my goal still remains that, to make sure that my kids grow up to be self-sufficient, that they contribute to the community they live in, that they're respectful people, honest people, hardworking people. And so I think if I've done that job, I will be able to ride into the sunset, as they say. But I think I still have a few good years left at me in the workplace.
You were fortunate to work under a great man, friend of mine, Ardell Galbraith. You know, he was a really spiritual man. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with him and how what he taught you is helping you now.
Oh, you know, as you said, loved Ardell. Such a good man. You know, big heart. Gave of himself without any measure, and so I think that the time I spent with him taught me that at the end of the day, as we talked about earlier, funding streams, budget, strategic planning, it's all important. But at the end of the day, it's about impacting lives. And the lives that we help with this money is the end game. And so he really showed me that should always be the focus. And as you're in these big meetings talking about big budgets and big plans and big industries, that at the end of the day, it's all because we want to help a person either start a good career or improve their career.
Sounds like Ardell had a real impact on you.
Yes, deep impact. Miss him every day.
Is his presence still felt in the building?
Oh, by all means. I think you were fortunate to be there about 2 weeks ago because the presence was so felt. We felt it just natural and organic to take a piece of the building and dedicate a portion to him. We have a beautiful hand-painted oil mural, and so now we can walk by and see him every day.
It's a beautiful tribute. I'm glad I was there to witness it.
Thank you for being there.
Yeah, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Peter.
I think we learned a little bit more about what Workforce Connection does, so thank you for being here today.
I feel honored. Thank you.
I want to thank Executive Director Jaime Cruz with Workforce Connections for joining me today. I also want to thank the men and women that work at Workforce Connections, at One Stop, who really are dedicated to changing lives each and every day. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Influencers, and I ask you to stay inspired, stay motivated, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.